What's up, everybody? It's your boy David Nelson with Entrepreneurs Podcast. I am here with Hesper Sanders. Hesper, how are you doing today?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Like I say, this is Entrepreneurs Podcast. We're just gonna get right into it. I got some questions to ask you. Just before we dive into the questions, let everybody know a little bit about yourself.
Wow. Okay, so that's always a tricky question, right? About me. Uh, about me. I'm a mom, right? Busy life. We were kind of talking about the hustle and bustle of trying to even make it here for this, right? Um, I am an entrepreneur. I am in real estate, among other things. I wear a few hats, but real estate is one of my passions. I love it. I love what I do. I love being able to walk into new spaces and connect people to those spaces. And I do a few other things, but not as prominent as real estate right now.
Got you. That's dope. I always salute mothers. You know, my wife, she's a mom, so just seeing, behind the scenes, everything that goes into being a mom. Yeah, I commend you on that. Especially trying to get ready and making sure this person is good and managing the different emotions and all that stuff.
Right.
So, yes, I commend you for that. And again, I want to thank you for taking the time to be on this platform with me. So, um, everybody has different inspirations, right? What inspired you to become a real estate agent?
So it's funny because I always say I was indoctrinated. So growing up, I watched HGTV and the home cooking channel, right? So House Hunters and all that, that was my life growing up with my mom. And I think that over the years it just kind of sank in. So I don't remember what year it was. I was like, I want to be a realtor. I want to go into real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And then outside of that, for me, I believe that God gives us a vision for a reason, to be able to see things and in Him manifest those things. So for me, when I walk into a house, I love to bring my children with me so they can
Mm-hmm.
see things outside of their norm, and it allows them to be able to envision themselves in those spaces as well and dream bigger for their lives. So those things on a personal level push me, and then being able to, like I said, connect families to spaces and help them find their homes and see their faces light up, especially first time homeowners. Like that's the
Mm-hmm.
fun point. Like when you have your new person, especially if they never thought they could buy a home, and then
Right.
they see it's a reality, and now they don't know where to start. And I'm like, I'm the girl. I'm gonna walk you from point A to point B. So those things kind of drive me and get into that closing table.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, with being in real estate, which is ironic. I know you spoke to my wife a while back, and I don't know if she mentioned to you, but I dibble and dabble in the real estate sector myself as a real estate investor. And one thing I like to tell people with real estate, one thing about real estate, it's like a multi-lane highway. There's so many different lanes and different aspects to real estate itself. um but for you being a real estate agent and being successful, what qualities do you believe are essential for achieving success in the real estate industry?
Um, for me, I always take a personal approach. So, knowing, getting to know your client, right?
Hmm.
Outside of knowing the profession and being a continual learner, because I definitely consider myself to be a lifelong learner.
Right.
And I believe in the principle of each one teach one.
Hmm.
But really getting to know my clients, as cliche as it sounds, my clients end up being like family to me, literally. And so we still keep in contact. But knowing them, knowing what they want. So when something comes on the market, knowing when to move, because it fits what my client wants. And also kind of knowing how to guide them, because again, dealing with first time home buyers, they may not know they may see something that they think they want. They may
Hmm.
not know the things to look out for, or you may see a gym and you're like, this might work for them. Let me just show them this. And then it, may actually end up being the home that they end up getting or they fall in love with. And they
Hmm.
ordinarily would have overlooked it. So just continuously learning your craft, understanding and knowing your clients, and just being able to connect those two things.
That's dope. That's what I'm talking about. Um, with real estate, and this one thing, like you said, the first time home buyers or somebody on the outside looking in, they may not understand this lingo, but understanding buyers market versus sellers markets is a very big thing because it tends to show you what the market is doing, like the market trends. For you, how do you stay informed about the latest market trends and the different changes that come with real estate?
Well, shout out to the brokerage that I'm with, which is EXP, one of the, if not the largest brokerage out there, right? So there is so much information. And at that point in time, it's really knowing which lane to stay in because it's so much information being funneled into you that you need to know which one to go to, which bit of information you need for you, right? Because you can't
Right.
take in all of it. But so I work with
Mm-mm.
some amazing people at EXP, and they have been very beneficial and helpful to me, and especially with a lot of the stuff going on in real estate right now. It's just a wealth of information there. And then studying on my own as well. And when it's a passion of yours, you seek out the information because it's what you want to do and it's what you love to do.
That's right. Forever growth. It's like what you mentioned earlier. Forever growing. You don't. It's like, for instance, doing wholesale in real estate. That's a whole nother. But it's so much information that comes with that. It's like you never stop learning. You might
Mhm.
close a deal here and there, but you still have an opportunity to learn even more. Um, so how long have you been a realtor?
I think I was licensed in 2019.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
So you got some experience under your belt. You
a little
you
bit,
done seen
a
some
little bit,
things, right? You didn't
a
see.
little bit.
Okay, so from the time you started up to now, can you share your most memorable success story that you've experienced so far?
My most memorable success story. Um, I'm gonna say it was probably my first client who actually wasn't my first client. So I was actually with a different brokerage at the time, and it was a colleague's client of mine. And she's licensed both in North Carolina and South Carolina. She said, Hesper, um, I need you to help me, get some things done on this deal. And I'm here, and they were purchasing here. I'm like, absolutely, of course I'll help. And that's, definitely more exposure for me, more information for me, and learning time for me, experience for me. So I helped them to, was there every step of the way. Right, help them to get to the closing table. I think the first home we looked at, and we looked at a lot of homes. The first home we looked at, I think we actually circled back, and that ended up being the house that they purchased.
Wow.
Um, and so not only that, but then being able to work with his mother currently, which is a current client of mine, and just being able to kind of see that go full circle, and from her being at the beginning stages of thinking about buying a home, and again not knowing whether or not she can, to helping
Mhm.
her every step of the way to now it's we're out boots on the ground looking.
That's
So
awesome. That's awesome. And one key thing, and I apologize, y'all. This is real life. You probably hear my son in the background crying. His mom is getting on to him. 9 times out of 10, he's sleepy. But welcome to real life
hey,
entrepreneurship.
hey, I skirted
So
off to the library to come do this because mom was at
see,
the house. Okay.
but see, this is the beauty of entrepreneurship. Like, entrepreneurship has the good, the bad, the ugly, and just the not so good to look at. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But all of those are ingredients to the overall recipe of being an entrepreneur. You got to take all of that. You can't
Absolutely.
just want the good and push the bad to the side. No, you got to be able to adjust and adapt, keep moving forward. That's the only way you can be successful in being an entrepreneur. And you said something just now. You said with your first deal, it was from a colleague. And one thing I do understand about real estate in general or business itself is networking, building relationships. If you didn't have that relationship with that colleague, she wouldn't have knew to come to ask you. So, what is your approach to building and maintaining relationships with either clients or with colleagues?
Hmm. I don't know if I know how to put it into words. I'm just me. I'm just me. I may not be everybody's cup of tea, but I'm just me, and I'm genuine, right?
Hmm.
So I genuinely care for people. I may not like people all the time. Can we be real? I
Hey,
love
absolutely.
people, but I may not like them all the time. But I genuinely care for people, and I think that shows in what I do and how I interact with people. And that has just allowed me the ability to connect with people on more than just oh well she's just a realtor or she's just in this profession. I think we connect on a heart level. A lot of people. Janisha was one of those people.
Hmm.
When I connected with her, just something. So
Hmm.
I just be myself,
And
and
see,
I think
that's
that's
about as real as it get. Like, and to me, um, when you go out being yourself, that's honestly that's how we do deals. Even with, like I said, wholesaling real estate, you don't so much focus on. And this is why I try to tell people when I'm coaching them, like, you don't solely focus on the deal itself. Build a rapport, get to know that person. The more you
absolutely
get to know that person, like it's gonna better help that like the deal will get sold, or you'll get the deal, the contract, whatever. You
right,
just but what do you remember, or how does that person remember you? Do they
right.
remember you enough to go and tell somebody else, hey, this person helped me with this situation? You know what I'm saying? So getting to know people just by being yourself, and that's the best thing that you could do is just be yourself. Me, I love to make people laugh. I'm like you though. Sometimes I don't want to be around nobody. Like, let me
True,
just be
true.
introverted, be in my office, playing my PS5. I ain't saying nothing to nobody. But and then still when it comes to business, I know how to put that hat on and sit down and have a cup of coffee with somebody. Um, the state of South Carolina alone, we know I know real estate, being a realtor is worldwide, nationwide. But in the state of South Carolina, you can go to Google and Google realtors or realtor.com even and find multiple realtors. How do you differentiate yourself from other real estate agents in this competitive market?
You have some good questions. um, how do I
See,
differentiate myself? Again, I'm just me. So, we're in a referral based industry, right? So,
right.
when you connect with people and you connect with them on a certain level, your business a lot of times comes from referrals. So, I can say that I have been in the room with people in rooms that I never imagined that I would be in. And I have been in places and like, how did I get here? Like, how did I get connected with these people? Right.
Hmm.
So, kind of like you said, the money will follow. When you build
Hmm.
relationships and you build rapport, the money and the business will follow. Um, I am just authentically me. I, everybody that I've worked with, I think, has been a referral from somebody or another. I am just authentically me. I'm just me. I'm goofy. I'm very much an introvert, also, by the way. But once you get to know me, I'm goofy. I'm fun loving, and I'm just willing to help and do the work. I'm pretty sure, that can be said for a lot of other realtors and professionals out there. But
Yeah.
I'm just willing to get my hands dirty and do the work, and I'm literally going to take you from point A to point Z. If you need me to hold your hands, and walk you through this thing, I'm going to hold your hand. I'm probably going to over inform you because I just feel like you need to know what you're getting into. A house purchase is one of the biggest purchases you'll ever make in your life. I'm going to give you the information that you need. I'm going to try my best to connect you with the right people. And one of the things that I told Janisha was, I may not know everything, but I'm around people who know a lot and who have been in the business for a long time. And if I don't
Hmm.
know the information, I'm going to go find the information
Yeah.
without doubt. I'm going to go get the information.
To me, that's what makes a person unique. Some people, they have the lone wolf mentality, and it's like, I'm gonna go and try to figure everything out myself. Why, when you got a circle of six people that's been doing it longer than you, just reach out to them. You
You know,
ain't. It's
life is a
okay.
good teacher for that, though. I've been a lone wolf. Life is a good teacher to let you know, like, no, you can't do it by yourself.
You can't do it by yourself. I
Mm-mm.
mean, just imagine, a football game, right? You got the lineman that's blocking for the quarterback. But imagine if the quarterback didn't have the linemen and he went out there and just said hi. You got 11
It's a
other
wrap.
people.
It's a
You
wrap.
finna get
Over.
hurt.
Over. Game over.
So check, check, check. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Hey, this is what it is. I pulled my headphone thing out. So
Uh,
check, check, check. Okay. All right. But yeah, playing football, the quarterback, if he didn't have the blockers, he gonna get squashed. And the same thing that
listen,
happens in business. If you don't have you can have relationships, but making sure you have the right relationships, and enough people are surrounding you to make sure that you are able to achieve whatever the goal is. Um, in real estate, you have the property or you have the seller.
mhm,
Now, you can't effectively do real estate if you don't have the buyer, right?
right.
So, what strategies do you use to effectively market properties to attract potential buyers?
So, can I tell you that I am a buyer's agent?
Okay, okay,
Yeah, I'm a buyer's
okay,
agent. I have
okay.
not
So,
yet listed my first property. Listen, I'm open to it. So again, if I don't have the information, I'm gonna go find it. Don't Let's not mistake it. I'm open to listing a property. So I've worked with people who have listed properties. So let's not count me out on that. But I have been a buyer's agent, absolutely.
okay, okay. So, what ways do you introduce your buyers to the potential property that they may buy?
So the first thing that I'm going to do first and foremost is sit down and have a conversation with my buyer. What are you looking
Hmm.
for?
Hmm.
Um, from what are you looking for? What location are you looking to be in? Do you have like I needs in this property? I need to have this. And what are your absolute disqualifiers, right? From there, we're gonna, if you have not been approved for a loan, it's time to get you connected with a lender. I am a little bit different in that I am certified in credit restoration. And so I typically look at my client's credit first to kind of figure out what lender I need to send them to. That has served me well so that I know what I'm getting into. Because while the lender can communicate with me once we are connected, they don't necessarily tell me about what's in your credit. They're going to tell me you're approved. This is how much you're approved for. So my clients and I usually work really closely with the lenders so that they can communicate to the lenders that the lender has permission to give me certain information. But I like to have that information in my hand so that I can look over it. It also lets me tell you, okay, well, this is what you need to do first before you even get approved for a loan. Before I send you to someone to pull your credit, this is what I want you to do first that will be beneficial to you. Um, a lot of people don't do that. Um, and quite honestly, I don't usually um, advertise that I do any type of credit restoration or that I'm versed in it, but my clients know. So that is our first step. And then from there, once we get approved, I start compiling properties. I put them up on what I like to call a drip campaign, where you'll get properties that match your criteria sent to you
Mhm.
automatically from the MLS that I'm a member of. And I'm also looking for properties outside of there. So I wake up with the phone in my hand, I go to sleep with the phone or laptop as well, because when we're looking for properties, we look for properties that when that property hit the market, it's time to go. So I work with my clients in that way. And again, if it's something that you may not have looked at on your own, or you may not have thought, I don't know if I like this property. I always say, let's go see it. I have a
Mhm.
property I want to show you. Um, one of my clients now, she said, Miss Hesper, you always got, well, she calls me Miss H. Miss H, you always got one in the pocket. I know you got one in your back pocket. And so it might be something that I haven't showed her, and I just say, hey, come here. We've seen these houses today, but I have one more I want to show you. Do you want to go? And she's like, absolutely. And that is usually the one that she's like, I love it, but you wouldn't have necessarily thought, to do it before or to look at it before. It may have been one you overlooked. So just
Mhm.
kind of those things again, having those conversations, knowing what your client is looking for, and being able to connect them with those properties and being able to see, good bones, as they say, or potential in a property.
Okay, that's dope. That's that makes you stand out. That's different because, like you said, a lot of people don't offer that.
Mhm.
You have to. They tell y'all, you got to get your credit fixed. Some people they look at you like deer in headlights, like, okay, how?
Right, right. What do I do
I
to
don't
get
know. I don't know where to start. Like it's like
started?
I pull that up. It's like Hispanic language to me. Like it's
Hmm.
Spanish.
Hmm.
I don't know what they say.
Yeah.
So, um, when it comes to like real estate, one thing that I've learned is the art of negotiating, and I didn't even realize that negotiating was an art itself until I got a book, and I've been reading this book called The Art of Negotiating. Oh, this is something. This is like another skill. How do you handle challenging negotiations and conflicts during a real estate transaction?
So I haven't really had any conflicts, thankfully. Not saying that none will come up, but I haven't had any real conflicts out there that I had to navigate through. But knowing, so when I get a client and a client is approved,
Mm-hmm.
um, the first thing I'm telling you is to save, save, save. As a matter of fact, probably before you even get approved. Once you come to me and you're serious about working with me, you are a client of mine. I'm telling you to save, save, save as much as you can. Because even though a lot of times the seller depending on the market that you're in, right? And depending on the climate that we're in, sometimes, let's change that. Sometimes you may get a seller to pay selling closing costs, some or all of it. A lot of times it puts you in a better negotiating position to be able to pay your own closing costs and things like that. But it's also going to depend on the type of loan you have.
Mm-hmm.
So you may have heard that a lot of sellers will favor a conventional loan over maybe an FHA or a VA or a USDA,
Mm-hmm.
that type of thing. So just knowing the loan product that you have, knowing what your client is, what they can and cannot do. Um, Knowing things like how long that house has been on the market. Has it been on the market more than once? Just kind of looking at the whole picture and then just kind of breaking down and figuring out, well, how do I need to structure this deal? Do I need to make sure that my buyer can pay their full closing costs? Do I need to make sure that does the seller need more time to be able to vacate the premises? So we need to have a longer closing. Do we need to have a shorter amount of time to close? Just the entire you have to look at the entire picture and figure out what works best for both parties. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, I as the agent, I work in the best interest of my client. As the seller's agent will work in the best interest of their client.
That's awesome. Um, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have some people that come back and look at this, and like I know a few people right now off top. They want to get into real estate, and they're just trying to figure out which route they want to go. Um, from your experience, what advice do you have for individuals looking to enter into the real estate industry?
What advice? Um, you've probably heard it 1,000 times before. Um, do what you love and it won't feel like you're working. It is so important to do what you love when you are stepping into the entrepreneurial realm. Um, money may be here, money may not be here. Okay.
Mhm.
If you don't love what you do, why are you doing it? Because in those times when you feel like you're by yourself, you feel like maybe the deals are hard or maybe your deals aren't getting accepted, or you feel like you have difficult clients, or maybe the market is not swaying, in your direction. Um, Things just aren't easy. I think a lot of times people look at real estate and they look at it like, oh, it's just like a cush job. You get to drive around all day, and just kind of get paid for nothing. It is a lot of work. It is a lot of work, a lot of hard work, a lot of miles on your car. You don't get paid until that deal closes unless you structure it, where you get a retainer or something like that. But you don't get paid until your deal closes. That deal can fall apart at the closing table. Oh, that was the story because we had a deal that almost fell apart at the closing table. It was a mess. It was a mess. I was like, oh my goodness. Oh wait, how can we salvage this? Yeah. I completely forgot about that. But literally at the closing table, sellers in one room, we're in another room. And it's like, all right, everybody needs to take five and take a deep breath and come back and get this deal finished. But you don't close until you close, and the money is not there until it's there. Don't count your money before you get it, and love what you do. And if you love what you do and you love the people that you work with, right? Why not? But just understand there are fees that come along with it, whether you sell or not. You gotta maintain your license. You have to maintain your brokerage fees. Um, so if you're not making sales in a certain season, and you're paying out fees, you're like, what am I doing? And I've had to have times, moments as well where I'm like, okay, God, this is what I want to do. This is my heart's desire. This is what I've always wanted to do. It allows me to be able to work and bring my children with me. It's not looking great out here right now. Do I hang my license up or do I keep pushing? And I keep pushing. So when times are good, they're good. When times are not so great, you hold on to what you came in here for to begin with. And
Exactly.
it ebbs and flows. So love what you do, and it literally won't feel like work. Like you're gonna work, but love what you do.
I love it. I love it because I'm a part of a lot of like real estate groups and stuff, and I'm
Hmm.
not knocking nobody. I celebrate everybody. Anytime somebody posting the win or showing proof that they got a check or something, I celebrate you. But here's the thing that gets me is don't just talk about the good stuff. Let's like
Hmm.
expose that ugliness. Like, what
Hmm.
did it take to get there? Because, like you said, some people, my only thing they see is the surface. And I use this analogy like everybody can go to the beach and you can look out and you can see the surface of the ocean. Cool. You don't
Hmm.
start experiencing stuff until you actually get in that ocean. Then you might see an octopus or you might see a megalodon or something. you go see something that you didn't see from the shore. So it takes you getting into it to actually experience. Like you said, you gonna work. Got to put out them signs for open houses. You got to meet with this person, or you got to, like you said, show multiple houses in one day, and the deal, you don't make money until the deal closes. I had an experience. Side note, I had an experience where I was trying to secure a house, and this goes with learning. Like, this is how you learn. You can't. We have a thing that we say in real estate is you fail forward.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you gonna fail. So just put
Mm-hmm.
that in your mind. It's gonna happen, but always fail forward and learn. So I didn't know about the contract fee, the termination fee. I didn't know nothing about that. 'Cause, when I got into the research of real estate, you can back out of the contract if it's not gonna work within a certain amount of time. uh well, they changed the law on me, and I didn't do my due diligence and study to know about the termination fee, so I had to pay $500 to terminate a contract. When what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, so it just I learned now. Now we have a realtor, Hesper. Now I can send stuff. What I'm saying. Hey, like what what I'm saying. Like now we don't have to do so much of the talking and stuff like that. So y'all, if you're getting into real estate, surround yourself with somebody that know what they're doing, so you don't go out
Absolutely.
here and bump your head and then give up, because usually that's when people quit. They go out here try to do it themselves, they fail, and then they ready to give up. um
Absolutely. And I have a client that was previously under contract, and
mhm
we were at the inspection was the day of the end of the due diligence period. So when that due diligence period is up, it's time for you to pay your earnest money. Is when I said it due after the diligence period,
mhm
and they fell in love with the house. And this is when the building rapport with people and knowing how to handle people comes into play. They fell in love with the house, did the inspection. The house did not have current termites, but it had previous termite damage. And
mm
it was so bad that it affected the structure of the house.
mm
So they would have needed a structural engineer to come out. So we backed out of the deal. Again, this was the day that the due diligence period ended. So I talk to the inspector. The inspector lets me know. I reach out to my client. Client has a very busy schedule, so I'm texting her like 911. Okay, because your earnest money is due. You about to put $1,000 on the line. Okay, by 6 o'clock today, we have to back out of this deal. This is what's going on, and she's like, no, pull the plug because we can't understand because it's about to be a money pit for you.
mhm
So I'm like, okay, grab the termination fee, go get the money order. So there's no nothing, not writing checks, money order. I drive it to the office, okay, in
mhm
Gaffney to hand deliver it to them to let them know like, hey, this is because the due diligence ends at 6 o'clock this evening, and you need to have this in your hand in your office so that you know we're out of this contract. And they were so sweet about it, because they didn't know the seller hadn't lived in the house, but time was literally like down to the wire. Like you need to get this, and she wouldn't have been able to get off work in time to do anything. So I'm like, don't even worry about it. I just need to know how to move. I got you. On the gas, and I go. So yeah, do what we have to do.
you gotta do it. You gotta, and that's what I'm talking about. The I guess I ain't gonna say the downside, but this is the dark side of being an
Hmm.
entrepreneur. Like, but like you said, when you love what you are doing, you have the willingness to do that for your client, because it can be that little act of kindness or service right there will get you three more clients from that one person.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between somebody. Oh, well, you signed them. That's what pretty much happened
Hmm.
to me. You signed this, so now I'm like, you ain't gonna help me out. I thought this, best interest, like, so, but it's all good. You learn, you live and you learn.
Yep.
Um, I know right before we jumped on this live or this recording, you was talking about your kids and everything, and
Yeah.
with being an entrepreneur, um there's a balance. How do you balance work and personal life in this demanding industry of real estate?
Well, first of all, I think I'm low key certifiable. right? I, I just come in a nice looking package. I look like, it's all cool, calm, and collected, but under the surface, I'm like a little duck just paddling at any given time. Um, but really, this may sound cliche. I literally put God first. I literally put God first. Without him, I can't do a single thing. Like without him, my life is in shambles. Okay. So, and he has just come through in the clutch sometimes. Okay. Um, and just trying to plan out my day, even though it's not like fully structured. I'm not gonna say it's fully structured because it's not. But I have like my have you heard the analogy of like putting the rocks in the jar? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe for your viewers who haven't heard it, you have a jar and you have like stones and you have maybe pebbles and you have sand and maybe water and all these things need to fit in the jar. But if you don't put them in the right order, they're not going to fit in that jar, right? So you put your big stuff in first, and then you put your smaller things in, and then you pour your sand in, and then everything fits in this jar. So really surrounding planning things around the bigger things that need to happen first. And again, I
Mm-hmm.
take my children with me. I have two children that are home with me,
Mm-hmm.
24/7. So they're homeschool. One's homeschool, one's in virtual school. So they go with me when I go show a house a lot of times. Then I have my 16-year-old is in sports. He plays football and he runs track. This is his first year running track. Today we talked about me running around crazy trying to get him where he needed to be, make sure I could come here for this interview and just kind of how it all like happened at one time. And then my oldest son, who's 22, he's like, Mom, I need you to do XYZ for me. Can you do this? So I'm trying to get all this together while I'm literally logged in for this interview. Like, hold on for a second. Let me go ahead and cash out this one. Let me bill this one. Let me make sure he can get here. And whew, okay, we're good. We're good. So at any point in time, it's like a madhouse, but it's a fun madhouse, right?
Right.
And we just juggle. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to it. You know how it is with kids. You kind of just you have to be flexible. You have to be able to ebb and flow. Life happens. It's not
Oh.
always pretty. It's, you know, I have a daughter, my daughter, she's 12. When I get ready to go show a house, I literally have to talk to her like she's one of the 6-year-olds. But she gets excited. She's like, oh, I'm going up the stairs, down the stairs. I'm like, no, you're not. Stay still. Stay still. But at any given time, like I said, they come with me when I come to show a house, and so it's like, hey, we got to get ready. We got to be out by this time. We have to be at this property at this time. Let's go. Let's hustle. Um, Bring your laptop with you. Bring your tablet with you. Whatever you're doing. If I need to take them with me during that time. So just being flexible, just not releasing control
Mm.
because I was such a
Ooh.
control freak, releasing control, which is like the hardest thing in the world to do, okay? Because I need to have my hands on everything at any point in time, and it needs to go the way that I think it needs to go. And it never goes that way, ever in life. In life. You want to trip yourself up? Do that.
Yeah. A great boxer by the name of Mike Tyson once said, "Everybody has a plan until they get hit in the mouth."
That
And
part.
listen, I hear people say, "Oh, you gotta plan this, you gotta plan that." I'm all for it. I'm all
Hmm.
for the plans. Um, but give me some advice on how to like adjust once them plans don't work because these
Oh,
things switch and shift.
how to adjust? How to adjust? How do I adjust? I
How
don't
do you
know.
adjust?
Every once in a while, you might hear me scream. Honestly, I'm like, ah, whew, okay. They be like, "Ma, you all right?" I'm good. Just give me a moment. um,
Ooh.
Sometimes it happens so quickly. Changes happen so quickly. You don't have time to think about it. You just have to move. Um, I don't know. Did I say God? Did I mention him already? Did I throw him in there? Literally, like literally, not figuratively, literally. Like it has been an adjustment to take my hands off of stuff and trust him to do what he's going to do because he can do it better than I ever could think about doing it. And he has. Because when I say I was a control freak, very much so. Like on the verge of a mental breakdown if something just goes out of the way. But as it would happen, my life has been so crazy that letting go was the best thing I could have done. Yeah. And I have 5 children. So, you know, yeah,
Yeah, I.
yeah, yeah,
Oh
that part.
yeah, I take my hat off to you for that one. Cause boy, these two that we got, listen, oh my
Oh
God,
man.
like they wake up with some type of heavenly energy that I can't even explain. Like, where did you get all that energy? I ain't even put my feet on the floor yet.
And you
That I
open your
want some
eyes
chips.
good.
Like one eye still be closed. Like
Yeah, yeah, real
I'm trying
talk.
to see who is this talking to me. Oh, it's my son. Like, oh, what do you want now? That I want some juice. I want some chips. I'm hungry. I want breakfast. Why mommy sleep? I don't know. Ask mommy.
Right,
I
right.
don't know. She over there.
I wake up with
So,
one just laying on my in my face. Mama, 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 son, son, listen, son. Okay. He's 6. He's 6.
oh man.
Why? Why are we still here? Why we he's 6. Yeah.
So,
All day, every
like
day.
I tell people that come on my platform, a lot of people say we get ready to land this plane. No, I'm envisioning. I'm gonna be the first. Listen and mark my words. Don't nobody try to do this. I'm gonna be the first podcast person to do a podcast show from a jet. So right now we landed. We about to land this jet. Okay, I'm
Hey,
speaking into existence. Mark my words. Now I'm be able to come
hey.
back and watch this. We gonna do a podcast show on the jet. So right now we
Can I
landed.
ride
We get
with
ready.
you?
Oh, absolutely. You the realtor. Like we're going to look at properties.
Hey, let's go. Let's go. We
we
out of there.
where y'all get ready to go? We about to get on the jet, go look at some properties.
That's it.
But and this leads me into my last question. I know you got a lot going on, so you can get ready to finish being a super mom. Um, you mentioned bringing your kids with you, which is a good thing. I know we laugh and joke. It's a great thing that they get to see the hard work. What legacy would you like to leave behind as a successful real estate agent?
Ooh, for legacy. I told you you asked some really good questions. So one, I always want my children to be proud of me and the example that I set for them, right? And to not be afraid of hard work, to not be afraid to do something new that other people haven't done yet. I am a big dreamer. I'm a big doer. Like I said, I wear a lot of hats. I think that just in the entrepreneurial space in and of itself, my oldest is almost 22, and he has seen um, me in an entrepreneurial space since he was little. I had him in high school, and I used to bake to take care of him. Um, and I went from baking for like students um, to baking for teachers to baking for the principal, having a small home-based bakery, all these things. And that was huge because you couldn't bake and sell stuff in school, okay? You get in trouble for it. Like, 'cause, the cafeteria sold cookies, but mind you, I got my own cookies I brought to school and cupcakes, and it just became a thing, and it really took off. So he's always seen me, and they've always seen me in some capacity. Even prior to that, I went to school in New York for a year, and I was awarded a small grant for baking actually, which was my entrepreneurial endeavor. So I still do it. Um, but and now they're seeing me shift into real estate. I want them to never stop dreaming. I want them to know that every house that we walk into is attainable for them. Um, I want them to learn the craft so that they know how to navigate the real estate world, because we know it's one of the biggest wealth drivers, right? That there is. I want them to be comfortable in it. I would love for them to be like, hey, mamas, I want to work with you, and us build a team. That would be amazing, phenomenal. But if they don't want to, that's okay. But I still need them to have the knowledge and to not be afraid to go out there and work for themselves. There are people who find comfort in a paycheck, and that's not knocking those people. I have always been the type of person that this might sound bad. But I've always been the type of person that when I hear somebody has worked for a company for like 30 years, I was like, my God, what? Like 30 years? No, no, oh, no,
No, baby Jesus.
no, baby Jesus, adolescent Jesus, okay, preteen Jesus. No, sir. That's not for me.
Mm-mm.
I want to be able to be fully established in my entrepreneurial field, and I'll probably always wear a few hats because I have um, a few things I'm good at. I have a few passions, and your passions lead you towards people, right? And when you follow them, again, the money will come, the business will come. Um, so I hope I answered your question and the type of legacy that I want to leave for them.
Oh man, yeah, you answered it.
Yeah.
Um, Again, thank you for taking time out of your entrepreneur uh mom schedule to join.
Thank you.
Listen, I'm so glad that, like, yes, you could set up in the office and get comfortable, but like you said, like, and I can tell by when you said that you used to bake. Um One thing about entrepreneurs, we are go-getters. And one thing about it is obstacles don't stop us. We
Right.
look at obstacles from a different perspective. An obstacle is an opportunity to us. And just like you, when I was 6 years old, um yeah, I can go and ask my mom for money, ask my grandma for money. My dad wasn't in the house. My dad was in prison. So I was growing up with my mom, and I really only male figures I had around was my uncles and my granddad. So instead of my granddad allowing me to go to my mom and ask for money, or my grandma and ask for money, he said, come to my shop. And see, he owned his own stores, and he allowed me to come to his shop and work the cash register. I'm 6 years old working the cash register, seeing money exchange and how business is ran. So I got introduced to it, and from there it spoke to me. I'm just like you. Like, if I'm gonna 30 years of my life matter to me to the point where I want to place that time,
I'm telling you.
and I don't want to
It's a
be.
hard pill to swallow.
Man, listen, and shout out to the people that's done it, like you said. That may be what they wanted, but
Right.
from my perspective and my own feng shui, what I got going on here, I want to take my 30 years and put it into what I'm building for my family.
Right.
So,
And I don't
man,
want to miss
again,
any more time with my children. I don't want to miss track meets and football games and taekwondo meets and qualifiers, and I want to be able
right,
to do all those things with them, and my presence matters. So, um, entrepreneurship that allows me to be able to do that. But I do want to say thank you for inviting me here because I'm still wrapping my mind around it. Somebody interviewing little me.
hey,
For an entrepreneurial podcast is crazy. So to me, it was a big deal. I was like, me? You sure? So thank you for considering
absolutely,
me for your podcast.
absolutely, man. How I look at it, um, And I'm not knocking nobody, but you got some people, in my opinion, my own personal opinion, you got some people that chase a platform and they won't do something or support somebody if they don't have a million followers or all these followers and stuff like that. That's not me. I feel like I'm always the underdog, and I felt like that coming up. Like, it's not that I have to prove anything to somebody, but if you tell me I can't do something, I'm gonna show you. You
Watch
know
your
what I'm saying?
words.
I'm gonna turn that into fuel. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I like for somebody to stand back and doubt me. I love it. Like, so that's why I follow. I followed like Tom Brady in football because he was an underdog. No other NFL team wanted him. But then when he got in the right place at the right time. Now his name is well known, but he didn't come out of college being one of the well known or the top prospects. He wasn't, So that's how I am. Like, I like to go for people that I can connect with. We ain't never even physically met each other, but
Right.
we connected. That to me is more powerful than, oh, he got a million followers. Let me go and try to connect. Nah, I'm a people person, so I can get deeper in that. I ain't gonna do that. But again, man, appreciate you. Thank you for coming on. Again, y'all. Let Before we let you go, Miss Hesper, let people know how they can get in contact with you if they want to purchase a house.
So on all platforms, you can reach me by my name. Perks of having a unique name. Hesper Sanders on Facebook, Instagram, Hesper Sanders. And then from there, like my real estate um, email addresses and things are in there as well.
Okay, bet. And when I go back to edit this, I'll put her information right there so y'all can reach out to her. But yeah, man, you go get with your kids and enjoy yourself. I know you got some more stuff going on. I'm about to go in here. My boy's been calling my name. So, but man, it's been fun, and stay tuned.
Absolutely.
Y'all go and do something with your life. Reach out to Hesper if you want to be a real estate agent. Reach out to me if you need personal growth and development. And this is the Entrepreneurs Podcast. Deuces.